he said, "A pleasant afternoon, Jimmy. The warden had summoned you."
All right, let's go.
Yes, sir. Jimmy is here, warden.
Now, Valentine, you will go out in the morning. You are not a bad fellow at heart. Stop breaking safe and live straight.
Me, I have never cracked a safe in my life.
Oh no, of course not. Let's see now. How was it happened to send you in Springfield job?
I was never Springfield in my life.
You are in prison, Jimmy, sure, and understand your wrongdoing. You are so neglectful of your own action.
You have been mistaken, sir. I have never done anything wrong.
Take him back to it and fix him outgoing cloth. Unlock him, sir, in the morning. Better think over my advice, Valentine.
Think over what the warden said. We mean you will well Valentine. He said. And do not disappoint us, brother.
Warden and Cronin knew nothing good would come out of rehearsing Jimmy's past. They knew Jimmy's side. For Jimmy, he was not a thief. He was an artist who did magic.
Jimmy was asleep in his cell when he saw a strange dream, a dream that was again an indication for him to change his ways.
What was going on? Was the whole world conspiring for Jimmy to change his ways?
How have you been, my boy? You have been leading a rather interesting life. Now it's time to change your ways. I have plans for you. You will lead a good life. I will send you a family. You can be happy, Valentine, and mom is waiting for you.
Jimmy woke up with a strange expression on his face. Now, to change or not to change, that was the question.
At 7 in the morning, Jimmy changes into the ratty clothes that he received in the prison and the pockets $5 bill that he got for the railroad ticket.
Here is your belonging, Valentine. We wish you will well Valentine.
Where is my destination? Where should I go now? This $5, this is going to take me to my destination. Valentine, have you seen better days?
Valentine crumpled the note and threw it away. It was of no use for someone like him. His destination was going to the cafe of one Mike Jordan. When Jimmy reached the cafe, Mike was busy behind the counter.
Dollar.
Sorry we could make it sooner, Jimmy boy. How are you been?
Yeah, fine. Got my key.
Yes, I have got your keys right here, friends.
He takes his keys from Mike and goes to his room. When he pulls out a briefcase that had a layer of dust on it.
He opened his briefcase and these found the finest set of burglar's tools in the East. It was a complete set made especially done for steel with 2 or 3 dog ladies invented by Jimmy himself, in which he took pride.
Jimmy changes out of the clothes that he received in the prison. Jimmy left that place and he was sharply dressed, back to his old glory, back to his old ways.
The police is yet to identify the serial robber who has caused such chaos all over the country. In Richmond, Indiana, there was a neat job of 9762, same burglary with no clue to the author.
2 weeks after the defendant improved a bulletproof safe in Logansport was burgled to know $1,500 currency.
Interestingly, all jewelry and documents were left untouched and soon after an old-fashioned bank safe in Jefferson City had become the target of this innovative thief. The losses are high enough to force the bigger authority to this case.
Indeed, its sources have informed us that Detective Ben Price is on the case. He is very famous for catching bad guys.
That could be trouble for the serial burglar. Let's hope our detective catches this thief before he decides to rob again.
Ben Price investigated the robberies and came to a conclusion.
Valentine's time.
Yes,
Yes.
there was not much else for Ben Price. He knew it was Valentine's job. All that was left was to find him.
The next destination for Valentine was Elmwood, Arkansas. Jimmy walking towards the hotel when his whole world changed.
A young lady crossed the street, passed at the corner, and turned to which had the sign the Elmwood Barn. Jimmy Valentine looked into her eyes and forget what he was and became another man.
Isn't it lady Miss Polly Simpson?
Jimmy asked the young boy who was hiding nearby, eager to know about her.
Oh no sir, that's Angle Adam, boyfriend owner this bank. By the way, who are you? Never saw you around here.
You did to me. I'm new here.
Jimmy went to a hotel and took the identity of Ralph Spencer.
Hello sir, welcome to Elmore. How do you do? By business or just passing by?
My name is Ralph D. Spencer. I am here to set up new soup business. Are there any openings?
Sure sir, there is an opening nearby.
Mr. Ralph Spencer, the feeling that rose from Jimmy's ashes.
Ashes left by the sudden attack of love.
What have you decided, Ralph? Will you stay in Elmore?
Not different. I have to decide, stay and prosper.
Hey, have you met Mr. Ralph? Yeah, sure. He's a good man. He's new here, but his shoe bill is prospering at a high rate. Yes, he's kind too. I'm glad to have him as a friend. And it's wonderful to know that he's settling down soon too. With Miss Adams, yes? Yeah, they're engaged to be married next 2 weeks. I heard she was the reason he decided to stay in Elmore. And Mr. Adams has approved him. Yeah, Mr. Adams is a typical country banker. He wanted a respected man. And Mr. Spencer is respected by all.
It was perhaps the Christmas magic. A common thief was respected and loved by the whole town. After achieving all that Ralph did, he had to use for his old equipment of thievery.
Good morning. This is the letter Jimmy wrote to me. What could it be? So, dear old pal, I want to be at Sullivan's place in Little Rock next Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. I want to make you a present of my kit of tools. I know you will be glad to get them. You won't be able to duplicate for even $1,000. Say, Billy, I have quit the old business. I have got a nice idea and I am making an honest living and I am married to finest girl on the earth. 2 weeks from now on. I tell you, Billy, she is an angel. She believed in me and I wouldn't could think for the whole world. Be sure to be at Sullivan's place, for I must see you. I will bring along my tools with me. Thank you, your old pal, Jilly.
If anything on receiving the letter, Billy was sure, but happy for his friend.
Meanwhile, Ben Price had entered Elmore, looking for Jimmy Valentine. He lounged about the town and in a quiet way until he found out what he was in search of.
So, you want to marry the banker's daughter, Valentine? Well, I don't think so.
The next morning, Ralph along with Elmore's family went to the Elmore Bank for Mr. Adams had installed a new high-quality safe in his bank.
The Adams family included Mr. Adams, his two daughters, Annabelle and Mary. Mary was married and had 2 kids, May, who was 11-year-old, and William, who was 9-year-old.
Wow, Father, this looks like a wonderful safe. Strong and sturdy.
Sturdy indeed. I have put efforts into getting this safe made. I instead everyone to inspect the vault.
Mr. Adams wanted to show the vault that he had installed recently in the bank.
What is there to inspect? The safe is just wonderful.
The vault sure is small, but it has a new patent door that fastens with 3 steel bars thrown together with a single handle.
Not only that, it has a time lock too.
Yes, the safe was amazing, but was it perfect? Good it not to be opened by outside measures? Maybe we will never know.
Hey, what are the kids doing? Looks like an interesting partner to me.
This is so shiny and small.
I bet I can fit in this.
No, Siri, you can't fit in this.
So, you will give me all your chocolate if I succeed.
Okay, it's a bet. But if you can't fit in this, you will do all my chores till next Monday.
I am going to win and I am not doing any of yours.
We will see, we will see.
Then I am going in this.
As if you can.
William looks over the cupboard and smiles thinking about all the treats he was going to get. And then enters the cupboard.
The adults were busy in their own conversation, not noticing what the kids were up to.
Hey Ralph, you never said anything about the safe. Don't you think it's absolutely amazing to have a brand new safe for our bank?
Yes, it is good that we have new security measure.
Finally, a common sense. I am happy you agree with our changes.
Hey, hasn't anyone seen William? May, where is William? The child of man not knowing what to say starts crying. What happened? Why are you crying? Where is William?
He said he can fit in the vault. I told him he can't. The safe won't be open. I have been trying.
The mother understood what was going on. She looks at her father and frantically tries to open the door.
Father, William is stuck inside. Just do something. Mr. Adam tries to open the door, but unfortunately for everyone present, the door had been locked.
The door can't be opened. The lock hasn't been found in nor the combination said.
No, Father, please don't say this. Just do something. William, are you okay? Can you hear me? Listen to me. Breathe, child, breathe. We will help you. Father, we have to do something. The child would die of fright. Can we break it open? Or is there any other way? We have to save William. Yes, break the door. Can't you do something? Save my William. Save him, somebody.
Annabelle looks at Ralph like any woman who knows the man she is about to marry and has every faith that he could conquer the world for her.
Ralph, surely you can do something, can't you? And just one question changes everything once again. Ralph was dead. Jimmy stood there once again, ready to dive into old habits.
Jimmy drops his briefcase with his prized possessions, his precious tools, and gets to work, ignoring the hustle bustle around him.
Jimmy continued to work, humming the old tune that he did. Every time he worked the job, and few minutes later, he opened the safe, bringing his own record of 10 minutes.
A wailing William falls forward in his mother's arm. Everyone is ecstatic that no harm came to little William.
But there was a person watching the whole scenario play out, and as soon as Jimmy turns, he sees him, recognizing him as Ben Price.
Jimmy knew the game was over. He put on his coat and walked to the man. Maybe he heard Annabelle call to him, but at this point, who knew?
Hello, Ben. Got around at last. Have you? Well, let's go.
I guess you are mistaken, Mr. Spencer. I don't believe I recognize you, but it was nice to meet you.
Ben knew Valentine was a changed man.
So maybe the old life of Jimmy was over and had finally left him. There were no secrets in his closet anymore. A new life awaited Jimmy.
No, a new life